Hello children, let's come back to our maths class. In the previous class, we have seen about the different sets. Yes children, there is already from last two classes we are seeing about the different types of sets. That is, we have seen about the empty set, then we have seen about a singleton set, finite set, infinite set, a cardinal number of a set. Then we have also seen about equivalent sets and what is equal and unequal sets. Yes, children, so these are some of the points that we have seen in our previous classes. And also we have done some sums based on cardinal numbers, then to identify the different types of sets like finite or infinite. And also we have seen how to identify the set as null set or singleton set. So today we are going to continue with our exercise 1.2 and we are going to complete our question number 3. So we started with 1.2, we have completed question number 1, then 2, and also have told you to complete question number 4 as homework. So question number 3 was left out. Let's complete question number 3 first. So take down your classwork, write down today's date, write down the question. You can just continue over there, no problem. Continue as number 3. Which of the following sets are equivalent or unequal or equal sets? Which of the following sets are equivalent or unequal or equal sets? Okay, so write down the first question. I told you that we have many points, so I am just giving you 5 points or 6 points so that you will be clear with that idea. Yes? The last class I have explained to you what is the equivalent and equal set. I'll just explain to you once again so that you will be having a clear idea about that concept. So first of all, just take the question. It's exercise 1.2, question number 3. The first subpart. A is equal to, you have 2 sets, you have to take 2 sets for question number 1. The set of vowels in the English alphabets. The set of vowels in the English alphabet. B is equal to the set of all letters in the word vowel. The set of all letters in the word vowel. Okay, so this is a question given to you. What is the question given to you? A. 2 sets are there. The first set is A. A is a set of vowels in the English alphabets, and B is equal to the set of all letters in the word vowel. Okay, so you have to be clear with the statements. First of all, let me write the members of A and B. So now this is in the form of descriptive. The set is described by words. You have words. We have studied in our first test. When we started the class, I have told you the 3 ways of representing a set. Descriptive form. So you have a set which is described by words. So this is a descriptive form. Again, this is a descriptive form. So you are going to write down the set as a roster form. Okay, try to write down in roster form so that it will be easy for us to count the number of elements. Okay, let's write down A. The set of vowels in the English alphabet. What are the vowels in English alphabet? Yes, A, E, I, O, U. Good. So write down here A, E, I, O, U. I hope you are clear, children. So this is a descriptive form. I am changing the descriptive form as a roster form. So the way of writing in words is descriptive, and the way of listing all the elements is a roster form. So now we have completed the elements for set A. Now let's go for set B. Okay, the set of all letters in the word vowel. All the letters in the word vowel. So you have to write down all the letters which is used in the word vowel. Okay, what are the letters that is used here? See, there's set of vowels in English alphabet. When you talk about the vowels, you have A, E, I, O, U. Here the question is to write the set of all letters that is used in vowel. What are the letters used here, children? V, O, W, E, L. No need to repeat it. Here everything, all the numbers, all the alphabet comes once. So I am just taking all the alphabet. If the alphabets are repeated, no need to write it again. So I have got the value for A. That is, I have got the members of A. I have got the members of B. Now what I am going to do is, I am going to write the cardinal number of A. What is the cardinal number? Count how many elements are present in A? Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I just put here, therefore n of A is equal to 5. Okay. See here, how many letters are there? How many members are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total 5 members are there. So put here, n of B is equal to 5. Okay. So the cardinal numbers are same. You say, n of A is equal to n of B. Therefore, A and B are equivalent sets. A and B are equivalent sets. I hope you are clear with the explanation. Okay, you may ask, ma'am, why are we not writing for equal? We have the same number of elements. See, be careful when you are writing equivalent and equal. For equivalent, when I talk about equivalent, the numbers should be same. Okay, numbers should be same. That is A 5. So 5 numbers of element should be same. And when you talk about equal, equal means you should have the same element, exactly the same element, exactly the same element. So here we are not having the same element. Here I am having V, I am having W, then L, which is not present in A. So you say that that is not a equal set. Here the numbers are same. Here we have 5 members, here we have 5 members. So you say that A and B are equivalent sets. I hope you are clear with the first part. Okay. We have completed the first subpart. Now let's take the second subpart. Take on the second subpart. C is equal to 2, 3, 4, 5. C is equal to so question number subpart 2, C is equal to 2, 3, 4, 5. And what about D? They have given you one more set. X such that X belonging to W, 1 less than X less than 5. D is equal to X such that X belonging to W, X lies between 1 and 5. So this is the two sets given to you. C is 2, 3, 4, 5 and D is X such that X belonging to W, X lies between 1 and 5. Okay, here already the set C is given in a roster form, so no need to do any changes for C. I know the members of C, student, so do not touch this part. Now let's come and let's find out the value for D. I want to find out what? I have to find out D. Okay, now what is D? D is belonging to W. What is the meaning of W, children? It means the number starts from 0, whole. There's a big hole. That means the number starts from 0. Okay. Now, X is lying between 1 and 5. I have told you about the sign, children. This sign means, that is, if 1x less than 5 means you should not take the value 1 and 5. So what are the numbers between 1 and 5? What is present here? You have like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are saying actually it is a whole number. That means it starts from 0. But here the condition is X is coming between 1 and 5. That means I should take from here to here. This is our choice. I can choose the number from 1 to 5. But now listen to the, or see the statement carefully. You have less than, less than. When less than comes, that means you should remove 1. I don't want 1 and I don't want 5. So what are the numbers left? 2, 3 and 4. if you have 1 less than equal to x less than equal to 5. 1 less than equal to x less than equal to 5. In such a case, equal to less than equal to. So 1 equal to, that means you have to take 1, you have to take 5. I hope you are clear with the explanation. So be careful with the symbols. So here 1 less than x less than 5, that means 2, 3, 4. Yes. So write down the value 2, 3, 4. D is equal to 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now let me write the numbers here. See, I cannot say that they are equal because I have 2, I have 3, I have 4. But what about 5? 5 is not present. That means this set are not equal because which number is missing? 5 is missing. You say n of c is equal to 4, n of d is equal to 3. Numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. N of c is 4. N of d is 1, 2, 3. So n of d is 3. Therefore you say, therefore C and D are unequal sets because I am not getting the same numbers. If the numbers are same, suppose if you have the same number as 4 and 4, we say it is the equivalent set. But here what happens, since we are not having the same number and also we are not having the same members. Here for C you have 2, 3, 4, 5 as a member, and for D you have the member as 2, 3, 4. That means you have to say that C and D are unequal set. I hope you are clear with the sums. Now your homework, just take on the homework sums, children. Homework. Exercise 1.2, question number 3, the third subpart and the fourth subpart is your homework. Complete the third subpart and the fourth subpart. I'll just give you an idea for completing your third sum and fourth sum. Listen to the statement carefully, children. X is equal to X such that. X is a letter in the word life. Okay. What is a letter in the word life? What are the letters? L, I, F, E. Yes. What about Y? F, I, L, E. So what about the numbers, children? What is n of x? It's 4. Yes. N of y? 4. So 4, 4. That means you say that x and y are equivalent set. You can say it is a equivalent set. Okay. One more. See the letters, children. You have L, you have I, you have F, you have E in both the sets, x and y. So we call that type of set as equal set. So you have to say n of x is equal to n of y. So it is an equivalent set. Also x and y have same number of, not same number, they have the same set elements. X and y have exactly same elements. So you can call this as equal set. So you have, so we say that x and y are both equivalent and equal. Okay, so you have to write the statement in statement form. Let's come to the fourth subpart. G is equal to x such that x is a prime number and 3 less than x less than 23. So you know the prime numbers. So we have listed all the prime numbers between 1 to 100. Yes, children? So you write down the prime numbers between 3 and 23. Between 3 and 23. I hope you are clear with my statement. Between. Between means do not take 3 and 23. Write down the remaining prime numbers. Okay, and then you have to count the numbers. Now see for the H statement, x such that x is a divisor of 18. Divisor of 18. 18 divisor means 1 18s are. 2 table it goes, yes? So 2 9s are. Then 3 6 are. Then it 4, it doesn't go to the table of 4, 5, 6 3s. Already we have the same numbers. So what are the divisors of 18? 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 18. So totally we have 6. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 18. I hope you are clear with this. So you try to count the numbers and you have to finish. Divisors already we have studied in our lower classes. We have studied in our 5th standard, 6th standard, we have studied about the divisors. So just already I have given you small idea how to find the divisors. So 18 means 1 into 18, 2 into 9, 3 into 6. How to find the divisor for 20? 1 20s are, 2 10s are. 3 table, we don't have 3 table. We don't have 20 in 3 table. 4 5s are, 6 7 8 9 10. Yes, 10. 10 is already there, so 10 2s are. That's all. This is the divisor for 20. Clear? So try out the sum. So you have to complete the third subpart and the fourth subpart as homework. Okay? We have some or 6 more points to the children. So around 6 more points are there. So let's write down 6 more points and then we'll complete our exercise 1.2. So give the heading here. It is after completing your sum, give the heading points to remember. Give the heading points to remember. Give the heading points to remember. And on the first point as universal set. Universal set. So you are going to continue, no need to take a new page, just continue. Universal set, write down. A universal set is a set which contains all the elements. A universal set is a set which contains all the elements of all the sets under consideration. It is denoted by U. Right on the step, children. First one is universal set. Universal set means you have to take out all the members of the set. Even if you have 2 set or if you have 3 set, universal set is the combination of all the elements of all the sets. Okay, all the sets will come under universal set. A universal set is a set which contains all the elements of all the sets under consideration. That means if I am dealing with 2 sets, if I am dealing with sets A and B, and when you write the universal set, what happens? Everything comes under a universal set. Suppose I just give you an example. If I take A as 1, 2, 3, and if I take B as 4, 5, 6. Okay, children, suppose for an example, we have a set A, we have a set B. Now, how will be the set U? The U will be everything. It will contain all the sets under consideration. That is, it is going to contain all the elements. So, you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, a set which contains all the elements of all the sets under consideration. That is, I am going here. What are the 2 sets that we have considered? We have considered A and B. So, what about universal set? It is the element of both the sets. So, the universal set will change according to the different conditions. I hope you are clear. So, you can just take an example. A is 1, 2, 3, B is 4, 5, 6. You can write U as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. U is a universal set. The symbol, the short form or the symbol used for writing universal set is U, capital U. You have to write a capital U. Okay, let's go for the second point. Second point is subset. Give the next heading subset. Let's start on the second point. I hope you have completed your first point and you are clear with the first point. What is universal set? Yes? Let's go for the second one. Let A and B be 2 sets. Let A and B be 2 sets. Let A and B, B, two sets. Okay. If every element of A is also an element of B, if every element of A is also an element of B, then A is called a subset of B. Then A is called a subset of. Okay, what is subset? Let A and B be two sets. If every element of A is also an element of B, then A is called a subset of B. This is very easy. When you see, you may be confused with the statement. You may feel, what is the meaning of all this thing? I'm just not able to understand. I'll just explain to you one example, and with the help of an example, I'll tell you what is the definition for subset. Okay, children, suppose for example, I'll just give you an example. I'll give you a set D. Okay, now, okay, A and B I'll give, so that you'll be clear with that. A is equal to 1, 2, 3, okay? And B is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Clear? What are the members of A? 1, 2, 3. What are the members of B? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Listen here now. If every element of A means what? 1, 2, 3. Every element of A is also an element of B. Yeah, also an element of B. That means every element of A is also an element of B. Yes, 1, 2, 3. If you have such a condition, you have to say that A is a subset of B. This is a symbol. A is a subset of B. A small c, okay, like a C. Not exactly a C, shrinked, a compressed C, okay, a pressed C. Just press it. Okay. So A subset of B, because 1, 2, 3 is present in B. So I have to say that A is a subset of B. I hope you are clear with the examples. Okay. I'll give you one more example. See here. Okay. P is equal to 4, 5, 6. Q is equal to 7, 8, 9. I'll write one more. 4, 7, 8, 9. So when we say P is a subset of Q, when? Remember, every element of P is an element of Q. Every element of P is an element of Q. Here, P is there. But what about 5 and 6? We don't have 5 and 6 over here. So you should say P is not a subset of Q. This is a subset, not a subset. Subset. And when you have like this, you say not a subset. See here only 4 is present. Yes, 5 and 6 is not present in Q. So what do you say? P is not a subset of Q. Clear? If every element of A, every means all, 1, 2, 3 is present in B. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 is present. Maybe extra, that is not a matter. Every element of A is present in B. A is a subset of B. Yeah. Here, every element of P is not present in Q. Therefore, P is not a subset of Q. I hope you are clear with the statements. Okay, let's move to the third point. So, tie down both the examples. Tie down the first example and the second example, children. You have to take both the examples so that you'll be clear with the definitions. You have to be quick and neat. Let's come to the third point, proper subset. The third point, this is example, okay, for example 1 and 2. Third point is proper subset. let A and B be two sets. Let A and B be two sets. If A is a subset of B and A not equal to B. That's here one more extra condition. A is a subset of B and A is not equal to B, then A is called a proper subset. A is called a proper subset of B. And we write a proper subset. For proper subset, a C and a line. A C and a line. A proper subset of B. Take down the examples. Let A and B be two sets. Let A and B be two sets. If A is a subset of B and A not equal to B, then A is called a proper subset of B, and we write A subset of B, proper subset of B. I'll give you an example so that you'll be clear with the definition of proper subset. Shall we take the examples, children? Let's take the example. So you are clear with the definition of subset. Yes, I'll give you some example for proper subset. Let's see here. Let A and B be two sets. So you have to take two sets. I'll consider a set A as 2, 3, 5. Okay. And let me take one more set as B. I'll take this as 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. So what are the two sets we are considering over here? I have taken a set A, which is 2, 3, 5. What are the members of A? 2, 3, 5. What are the members of B? 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. The two conditions that you have to focus for proper subset, A and B be two sets. Okay, done. If A is a subset of B, A is a subset of B, that means every element of A is a element of B. Yes. There, yes. Every element of A is a element of B. So this is a subset. Okay. If A is a subset of B and A is not equal to B, are they same, children? No. See, we have only 2, 3, 5, but here we have two more. What is that? 7 and 9. 7 and 9 is not there. That means A is not equal to B. So we have two conditions. A is a subset of B. A is a subset of B means every element of A is the element of B. A is not equal to B. Yes. Therefore, you say A is a proper subset of B. A is a proper subset of B. I hope you are clear with the explanation. Take down the example. You just take this as number 1. Example 1. One example is enough. Proper subset, I just cannot put a line. Okay, just keep this as one example enough. When we do the sums, we'll be doing this in details. So only a small difference between a subset and a proper subset. For subset, we are not talking about this statement, A is not equal to B. But for a proper subset, you have to say that it is a subset and A is not equal to B. I have given you an example where you have A and B is a subset. I just write down using a pencil here. A and B are subsets but not equal. Okay, so write down. A and B are subsets. Shall I write a little bigger? A and B are subsets but not equal. So A is a proper subset of B. So we have completed 3 definitions. Let us go for the 4th definition, disjoint set. Write down question 4th point, disjoint disjoint sets. Right on the fourth point, disjoint set. Shall we write down the definition for disjoint sets? Two sets A and B are said to be disjoint. Two sets A and B are said to be disjoint if they do not have common element. Write down the definition for disjoint. Two sets A and B, two sets A and B are said to be disjoint if they do not have a common element. Do not have a common element. I'll just give the examples over here, children. A is equal to 3, 4. B is equal to 10, 11. Okay. I have taken two sets over here. A is 3, 4. B is equal to 10, 11. Do they have any common element? They have any common? No. So what you have to write? A intersection B is equal to empty. Therefore, A and B are disjoint sets. See? This sign is called this. When you write like this is U, yes? When you write a reverse U or when you write a U upside down, this is called as intersection. What is this symbol called? Intersection. So A intersection B, there is nothing common. That means empty. I have told you when there is no element, what do you write? A empty, a 5. So A intersection B is empty. When you have, when there is nothing common between A and B. Listen to the statement, clear children? When there is nothing common, when you have nothing common, when you have no common element, you say they are disjoint sets. I'll give you one more example. Okay, I'll just give you an example here. A is A, B, C, D. I'll give you an apple. A, P, L, E. Okay. And B, I'll write G, R, A, P, E, S. So I have taken apple. For apple, we are not going to write double P. Okay, we have to write only single P because we have to write the letter only once. If I have taken the set as A, P, L, E, and I have taken the set B as G, R, A, P, E, S. Okay, now let's find out the intersection. What is A intersection B? This is intersection, I-N-T-E-R-S-E-C-T-I-O-N. Intersection. What is common between A and B? What is same? A, P, E, yes. Any other thing? Nothing. So write down A intersection B is A, P, E, A, P, S. A intersection B is A, P, E. You say, therefore, A and B are not disjoint. So A and B are not disjoint because you are having some intersection. What is the intersection? A, P, E is common. So when you have something common, you have to say that they are not disjoint. When you are having empty, you have to say disjoint. And what do you call this set? Therefore, A and B are overlapping sets. See, when you have something common, when you don't have anything common, you have to say it is a disjoint set. When nothing is there, you have to say disjoint. When something is common, you have to say that overlapping set. So A and B are overlapping because you have some member or some element for A intersection B. So A and B are overlapping sets. Okay, let's go for the next definition. I hope you are taking all the points along with me. You have read on all the examples, everything. So some point number 5, it's overlapping sets. Overlapping sets. Two sets A and B are said to be overlapping if they contain at least one common element. If they have at least one common element. If they have at least one common element. So already we have seen an example overlapping set, yes? So what is the meaning of overlapping? Two sets A and B are said to be overlapping if they have at least one common element. P is equal to, example, I'll give you one example. P is equal to ROSE. Q is equal to JASMINE. Jasmine. So I have taken two sets P as rows, ROSE. I'm going to write the elements of rows, all the letters in rows, and also have written all the letters in the flower jasmine, JASMINE. Okay. Now let me find out the common of P and Q. So P intersection Q. What is the sign called? Intersection. P intersection Q is equal to R not O S E. So what is there? S and E. You say therefore P and Q are overlapping sets. P and Q are overlapping sets. Because we have at least one common element, at least one. We have more than one. That is not, at least means you should have one and you should have more than one. You can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. So two sets A and B are said to be overlapping if they have at least one common element. At least one common element. So you call that as P and Q. If you get P intersection Q as empty, you should say that this is a disjoint set. So P and Q are overlapping sets. Okay, let's go for the next one. We have one more definitions to be written. Sixth point, power set. The set of all subsets of A is called the power set of A. The set of all subsets of a set A, I'll just say subset of set A. The set of all subset of a set A is called a power set of A. Is called the power set of A. It is denoted by PA. It is denoted by P of A. Okay, let's go with the work. So what is a power set? The set of all subset of set A is called the power set of A. It is denoted by P of A. Okay, I'll give you an example for power set. If, okay, P, okay, I'll just give you A. If A is equal to 1, 2, I'll start with a smaller number. If we have a set A as 1, 2, let us write the power set of A. How to write the power set of A? Subset of A. Subset means every element of A. What is every element? You have to focus on every element. You write P of A. What is P of A? Power set of A. What is a power set? First of all, you have to put a bracket. First thing is empty. Put a empty. Okay. Then you have to write 1. Then you have to write 2. Then you have to write this together. 1, 2 together. 1, 2 together. So this is a power set. See here, children. How to write the power set? If A is 1, 2, the power set will be, first always you have to write a empty set, then 1, then 2, then write them together. So this is a power set. So totally how many elements are present here? 1, 2, 3, 4. See? A is 1, 2. So subset, the set of subset of set A, the subset of A is called the power set. Okay, that's all enough. So we have completed all the definitions and now we are going to move to our exercise. Okay, I would like you to give you one more example. Don't need to write down the examples in your classwork. You just write down till here. You have to complete till here in your classwork. Just understand one more example for power set. Okay, children, if you have 7, 8, 9, okay. Listen to me, no need to write down this, just listen. What will be the power set of A? First is, put a bracket, empty, okay, first empty. Each element, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now for 2 means I just wrote 2 and I have written 2 together. Now we have 3 here. So we can take 2, 2 pair. So first I have taken 1, 1 pair. Now I am going to take 2, 2 pair. 7, 8. 7, 9. Then 7, 8 finished. 7, 9 finished. Then you can take 8, 9. I hope you are clear. This is easy. 7 first separately. First empty. Then 7. Then 8 alone. Then 9 alone. Then 7, 8 together. Then 7, 9 together. Then don't take 8, 7 because already 8, 7, 8 is there. 8 and 7 is same. So 7, 8, 7, 9, 8, 9. And then you have to write down all the 3 together. So this is 7, 8, 9. See how many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have totally 8. When it is 3, you have 8 elements. Clear? Okay. So where you will be doing more sums on power set. So when we do the sums on power set, you will get a clear idea of what is power set, how to do the sum. So let's see the definition once again. What is a power set? The set of all subset of set A. The set of all subset of set A is called the power set of A. It is denoted by P of A. Clear, children? Okay. So now your homework is, you have to complete exercise 1.2. That is which sum? What sum I have given you? I have given you sum number. That's from question number 3. The third subpart and the fourth subpart is your homework. Yes. And one more thing. Today we have taken down 6 points to remember. Your homework is to complete this. Plus you have to write down all the points. One time. Points to remember. Total 6 points we have done as along with the examples. So complete your homework. What is the homework? Again, I just remind you the homework. From exercise 1.2, question number 3, the third subpart and the fourth subpart is your homework. And we have taken down around 6 points in our classwork along with the examples. I have given you examples, yes? So you are going to write down that points one time with the examples. E.g., you know what is the meaning of E.g.? It's example. So complete your homework. I'll be continuing with the next remaining part. So we can now, there is no point for here, that is we have completed all the points for 1.2. So we have to directly go with our exercise 1.2. So in the next class, we'll try, it's not possible, okay, we'll try to complete our 1.2, okay children? So just study all the points to remember and everything. You have to be thorough with your definitions, and also you have to complete your study till whatever, every day, whatever classworks have been done, you have to, every day you have to revise it. So every day just have a revise of the classworks, whatever we have done in the first day, in the second day, whatever we have done, every day you just go through so that you will be clear with the idea.